How dangerous are knives then?
Here, officers have been told to investigate suspicious circumstances at night in a warehouse and react to what they find.
2 police officers from Sussex then have been cleared of tasing a 92-year-old amputee in a wheelchair in a care home. You're not going to like this one, guys. Let's get straight into it. Okay, a bit of a difficult tape to watch, guys. 1 minute 32 long. Let's watch the whole thing, though. I'm going to watch it without commentary. I want you to see what these police officers see as they go into this room.
Right down, mate, for me. Or you'll be spraying with tasers. It's up to you. You want to put it down for me?
Come on, just chuck it on the floor for us.
Put it on the floor.
Come on.
Put it on the floor.
We don't want to hurt you.
Donald, don't be silly. Put it on the floor.
Police officer with a taser.
Step out. Hey, guys. Put it down, mate. Come on, Donald. Put it down. Don't be silly. We can solve this without having to resort to this. Yep. Put the knife down.
Just throw it on the floor.
Just pop it down for me. On the floor. Pop it on the floor. Donald, pop it on the floor. As many as we need. Put the knife on the floor now, or you'll be sprayed. Do as you're told. Put it down. Put it down. Donald, put it down.
Seriously?
Last chance.
Can you just hold that door? I can't get a good angle.
Donald, put it down. Put it down now. Come on.
Last chance.
Right. Put it down. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Put it on the floor.
Do it now. Drop the knife.
Donald, drop the knife.
Donald.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down.
Taser, taser.
Man, that is a difficult tape to watch. No matter how you view that, it's not an easy thing, is it? Especially if that was your loved one in that nursing home. Obviously, let's go to Twitter, because this is obviously where the experts live. Alison Pearson then jumping on this bandwagon, unfortunately, normally says some sensible stuff. They tasered a delirious 92-year-old amputee because he was waving a serrated knife. It was. People saying it's a butter knife. It wasn't a butter knife. It didn't have a blunt end. It was serrated. Police have lost all common sense and decency. It's all guidelines. Sack them. Also, she says a delirious 92, and that's right, because people are saying that the man had dementia. He didn't have dementia, he had a UTI, urinary tract infection, which causes a lot of confusion. He was an amputee, and he was also in a wheelchair. The man was 92 years old. What I said is you need to look at police training. People say throw a blanket over him, or my mum could have got the knife off him. That won't be in their training, and it isn't really in police training. It's quite binary, and there has to be other levels, obviously, that maybe they could be fulfilled. But with any knife, distance is key, and a taser or spray gives you that separation. People don't like it, but unfortunately that's how it is. Police don't deserve to have to face knives, even if they are from OAPs with dementia. That's just reality. As I said, he was a confused individual. He actually had threatened the owner of the home first, saying that he was going to murder him. Whether you like that or not, or you agree with that stance that the police took, we're going to go in a few of the comments, and I want to show you the disparity on people's thinking. On the wrong side of this one, Tim, I'm afraid, no way should force have been used in this situation. Easily calm down this man and use distraction to get the knife from him, or he does not have the energy to create a threat. Some dementia patients, which he didn't have, by the way, can be a danger, but not this one. A lot of this is coming in from serving officers, don't get me wrong. And I'm not a serving officer, never have been. Police are my family, of course. Tim, I disagree. The dude was not a threat to anyone. I would have sat in the room with him and talked to him until he dropped the knife. There was no rush. Wouldn't matter if it had taken a few hours. Except what we're forgetting, of course, is the police don't have a few hours here, and nor should they. They're not care workers, but of course they are being treated as if they are supposed to be. What happens on a late Friday, as all those care workers in the NHS are switching off for that particular week, they hand over case files to the police for them to go and deal with it. And of course, the average response officer, as we're seeing there, isn't a care worker. They're not really trained for that kind of work. And what you're going to get is quite a rough and ready response. I get what you're saying, Tim, but this was an elderly chair-bound amputee with dementia. It wasn't, but confused, shall we say, against 2 physically fit police officers, taser spray and a baton strike. Seriously, would you have done it that way? Probably would have done, actually, because there's a lot to be said for protecting the individual in this particular case. It doesn't really matter who's holding that. And what I say here is, have you seen any knife training videos from law enforcement? Go and see what knives can do, even in the hands of a 92-year-old. If I couldn't get him to comply, I would have to have incapacitated him. Absolutely right. Because the issue is, as you lean over to try and get the knife, he can thrust it up into your neck. Old people can kill, young people can kill. When we get into fights with like women, they can take an eye from you. You've got to be very careful to keep your distance from these people. That's what the police training does. It says keep that separation, escalate force. And it was the same when I was flying these aircraft as well. You don't just go straight in dropping the bomb on the bloke in the street. You escalate it, shows a force first, maybe use the gun, fire long so you're not killing people, and only then will we ever get the authority to target an insurgent on the ground. And as I said, police officers commenting as well. Tim, personal view, 30-year retired police firearms officer, protection officer. Conflict resolution stretches from officer presence up to lethal force. Mitigating factors to consider that may influence resolution, age, size, mental state. Absolutely. And as I say here, no argument from me whatsoever. My father was also an armed response officer. My sister still serves in the police force, hence why I'm quite protective of British police officers on this channel. However, but remember, those officers weren't 30-year experienced police firearms officers or protection officers. They're run-of-the-mill, everyday police. This is what they're dealing with when they walk into this threat situation. And if we look at what the press is saying, and on that top there, you see that ground news bar, I use it all the time. It says that our sources are split left, centre and right up there. So we can see it's a very balanced article. That is, everyone is talking about the same thing, basically. It's just, it is what it is. There's no real bias on this. People are just stating the facts. And the facts state that a jury found 51-year-old PC Stephen Smith not guilty of 2 counts of assault for using the Parva spray, similar to pepper spray, and a baton. PC Rachel Komoto, 36, was found not guilty of 1 count of assault for deploying her taser. The care home had called emergency services after Mr. Burgess reportedly threatened to stab staff with a knife he was given to cut his food. And we've seen what happened in the video. Smith then previously told jurors he did not see that the pensioner was disabled and using a wheelchair until after the incident. I must admit, I didn't notice that was a wheelchair until during the very end of that. And he was focused on the knife, quite a long knife, I would say. In his evidence, Smith also denied hitting Mr. Burgess with the baton, claiming he flicked it towards the pensioner's wrist to knock the knife out of his hand. I never saw him hit him with the baton. I saw him going and hitting the knife. That's just what I saw. Care home manager Steve Cooper previously told the court that workers had been under threat from Mr. Burgess for more than 30 minutes before they decided to phone 999. And of course, this unfortunately is police now doing the work of care workers. And it's a bit like getting the parachute regiment in to do peacekeeping work. These are shock troops. You don't really want them there mollycoddling asylum seekers across borders. Mr. Burgess jabbed the knife towards the manager and told him, "I'm going to murder you and I'll enjoy it," according to Mr. Cooper. Mr. Burgess's knife movements were described as extremely quick by Deputy Care Manager Donna Gardner, the court heard earlier. So we're seeing a very difficult situation there, aren't we? Now, my issue with this whole thing is that police don't go to work to get themselves stabbed up. It doesn't matter whether it's from a 92-year-old amputee in a wheelchair in a care home or not. There's instructions. We're responsible for our own actions. And if the man is delirious because of some UTI, by all means, give him time. But how much time can you give him? The police are overstretched, as we know. How dangerous are knives then? So here we get an unrehearsed scenario about knife attacks, and this is for police officers in the United States.
Here, officers have been told to investigate suspicious circumstances at night in a warehouse and react to what they find. At first glance, this officer's distance from the suspect looks safe enough. But an attacker can easily cover this distance faster than most officers can draw their guns. Remember, when you close the distance between yourself and the suspect, do so only by purposeful decision. In fact, at close distances, your only realistic option for controlling a suspect is empty hand tactics. Yet when officers are asked how they would control a knife attacker, they usually say, "I'd shoot him," forgetting that they may not have time to in reality. Here, still unrehearsed, is what really happens when officers assume they can automatically use deadly force against a knifer. They stand their ground and try to draw. Or try to draw and disengage simultaneously. Or even worse, try to draw, fall down and shoot. And they lose. Because time and distance work for the offender and against the officer.
That's a pretty awful video, guys. But again, the 21-foot rule is a massive one, okay? Now, I'm not saying that that man in the video that we saw, the 92-year-old, was that kind of threat. But that is the kind of training that the police get. They have to keep a distance. They have to preserve that distance. And I want to tell you something right now about police officers in the United Kingdom and all over the world, in fact. They are just all of us, aren't we? We police by consent. That's consent of the people. I know they haven't had a great run recently. They've been let down significantly by the government and by their seniors. But they are our mums and our dads. They are our sisters and our brothers. They are our children too. They're trying to do the best job they possibly can. The public doesn't support them at all. And as I said, they have no support from above. Who would be a police officer? Who would be a police officer today? In Belgium, an Eritrean migrant then had been harassing a woman, and a man came up to try and stop him doing that and found himself stabbed to death. Look at the response to the Flemish police here then. Man just stabs someone with that knife, just puts it back. That's what the police are dealing with. They don't know they're going to walk up against this every single day. That's the training they've got, guys. Not against a 92-year-old pensioner with one leg in a chair. You can see these police are armed here. They're armed, guns out, bike cops, and of course that man's taken in custody. And of course these are the kind of people that the police are training to deal with. I'll leave you with that. Policing isn't easy, guys. In the comments, you tell me what you would have done. I'm sure we would all have been throwing blankets over them and persuading him gently with lullabies and maybe some incense for him to drop that knife. But of course, don't forget, it happens very quickly, and hopefully I've showed that to you. Also, guys, this video isn't really sponsored by this, but I'm going to show it anyway. This is a can of deep heat spray. On the streets right now, there are a lot of people that are trying to get your attention, especially if you're a young lady, shall we say. Now, we know that young people do a lot of sport. We know that women do a lot of sport, don't we, men? Women do a lot of sport. Buy the loved ones in your life some cans of this, a small can, then keep it in their purse. And of course, they can use it on their muscles. And of course, if someone was to attack them, they can spray them in the face with it. Don't let your family become victims. All right? We've all got sports injuries, shall we say. Hey guys, I really appreciate your time. It's a difficult subject again to cover, isn't it? Not easy being a police officer in the UK. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.